Welcome to Retire Smart Louisiana. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Gary Pouwels of Retire Smart Louisiana. And to our viewers at home, remember, the retirement storm is upon us. Where are you going to go to take shelter? What are you going to do when it starts? That's what Gary is so passionate about, making sure that you have a proper plan for your retirement years. Gary, how are you today?
I'm doing great. And you, Cynthia?
I'm fantastic.
You
Thank
look
you.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. You look very handsome.
Oh, thank you.
I love the blue. And we didn't even talk about it in advance.
I know. It happens too often.
It really does. It does.
Yeah.
And you've been so busy. Let's talk about that first. I know that you've been just really busy with people that are calling into the television show. They want to meet with you. They want to talk to you. And also, you're just busy with radio and just clients and everything. So how do you find time?
It's been tough. But I've got a wife who supports me.
Yes.
And she's part of the team, too. So she handles probably pretty much the whole calendar for me.
Well, Sylvia's
She just tells
amazing.
me where to go and what to do.
She is amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Well, I'm so glad that I have you on the set today. Obviously, Gary, I want to talk to you about something so important. I know you're passionate about creating an ideal spending plan, budget, if you will. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about that. How do you go about building something like that for your clients?
Well, I call it the 60-20-20 rule.
Okay.
It's needs, wants, and savings. Okay. And most people bypass the needs and goes right to the wants.
Okay.
And forget all about the savings.
Okay.
That's not good. All right. So when we talk about needs, usually about 60% of what comes into the household is being spent on your mortgage, car notes, insurance, groceries, utilities, any debt you might have for student loans, college funds for your children. There's so many needs, that we have to deal with every day.
It's true.
Now, as we get older and we go into retirement, those needs change, okay? At least they're supposed to.
Okay.
All right? So once we have an idea of what their needs are and how much debt they really have, okay, then we start the process of trying to figure out how to fix the problems they have going into retirement. And if they're already in retirement, we got a bigger problem because they've already jumped the gun, okay?
Okay.
And if they're spending way more than's coming in, that's a huge issue because, like I said before, many times, people are living longer today.
It's
and
true.
if you don't have a plan in place, plan to fail. That's just the way it is.
Sure.
So I could tell story after story after story. I had a couple that came in one time, and it was crazy because they sat way apart from each other at the table, and I was shocked when that happened because it was the first time meeting them, and the husband sat all the way to the left, and the wife sat all the way to the right, and I'm like, what's going on here, So I start the conversation off, and immediately when I'm asking questions, they start arguing with each other.
Uh-oh.
So the old saying, happy wife, happy life.
True.
It goes hand in hand in everything we do going into retirement. Because if you have a money issue, it creates other issues in the marriage.
That's true.
So literally, it caused some serious issues to the point that these two were eventually going to get a divorce. So now I got another issue, okay? That throws legacy planning out the window because now I'm dealing with, there's a possibility these two might not even be together. So how do I put this plan together if they're eventually going to divorce?
That's true.
Scary.
Very scary.
So at that point, you're hearing both sides of the story. It's all her fault. It's all his fault. She overspends. He doesn't care what he does. Back and forth. It becomes more than just sitting down with two people trying to figure out where to go next.
No, you become a marriage counselor.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Truly.
So that's exactly what happened at that point. And eventually, throughout that process, I did gather some information. They had a huge tax bill with the IRS, hadn't paid the taxes in 2 years. He was supposed to be handling it. He didn't. And he was taking loans out that she wasn't aware of. So it was a huge problem sitting there gathering this information because she was shocked finding out that he had taken loans out.
Oh, boy.
And she didn't even know about it.
Yikes.
So I can't move any further at that point.
No, you're stuck.
Because they really need a lawyer and a marriage counselor.
Yes.
So he got up mad as can be, walked out, stormed out. And the first thing she tells me is, he's got somebody else and she lives in Houston, Texas, and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm not the person to be talking to you about this.
I can't even imagine.
I'm here to help you with your finances, and I'm here to help you with making the right decision in life when it comes to putting a plan together for retirement.
Yes.
You have to fix this other problem first, and then you can come back and see me.
Yes.
So that actually did happen. They eventually got a divorce. She came back to see me.
Okay.
She's a client today.
That's fantastic, because now she has accounts of her own.
Yes.
And you can help her manage and build the retirement plan from what is hers and not theirs. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's where the whole problem with needs comes into play.
Yes.
When people are overspending and not keeping track of what they're doing, it doesn't only create a financial problem, it creates a marital problem as well. So it's sad, but that's a part of life, and we see it every day. And I don't like seeing it, but it is what it is, like they say.
It is. And you're there for all phases of life. So that's 60%, obviously, rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, car payment. What else am I missing in there?
Any kind of debt?
Debt.
Yeah, debt is a big one, and that's something that I always try to address right away. But here's the other one. Most people don't even think about this one. Taxes.
Ooh, big one.
So taxes can hit you really hard during retirement if you don't have the right plan in place. Because eventually, if you do have IRAs or 401ks or any of these plans that the government puts you in, okay? Because when they do something, the government does something, it's usually in their benefit, not yours. So you're creating this tax time bomb. Now all of a sudden we got to address it when you hit 73 years of age. So we also address that as well. But that's all a part of the 60%. You know, that money has to come from somewhere. And that's where the plan starts.
Okay.
So
it really, Gary, comes down to a plan. And I know how busy you are, but you've actually set aside a specific number of new client appointments, if you will. Talk a little bit about your special message before we take our first commercial break today.
Sure. We have a couple things that we'd like to talk to you about. Number one, if you can go to the website and you can go to the main bar. Don't go to the search bar because you no telling what you're going to get. Go to rstaxcalc.com. Or you can go to rsretirementquiz.com. And the retirement quiz is going to help you see where your shortfalls are. The tax calc is going to help you with your R&Ds and things like that.
Okay.
And you can also call 888-568-1755 for your free consultation. Come and see me.
Gary, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is 888-568-1755, 888-568-1755. We know you're in the viewing audience today and you're asking yourself, do I have a plan for my retirement? Can I follow the 60-20-20 rule that Gary has put in place? Well, if you're not sure, this is the perfect time for you to pick up the phone and call in, book that complimentary consultation, 888-568-1755. Once again, we're so excited about the two calculators, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Our little links that we have. It's so exciting for Retire Smart Louisiana. You can visit rsretirementquiz.com. That's rsretirementquiz.com. Find out if you're really ready for retirement, or if you're curious about what your tax implication and burden would be today, go to rstaxcalc.com and put a little bit of information in about yourself. You can find out what your tax implication is today and what it could be if you make some changes. We're going to take a very short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go into the final 20 and 20 part of that equation with Gary when we return.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Retire Smart Louisiana. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Gary Pouwels of Retire Smart Louisiana. The retirement storm is upon us. Where are you going to go to seek shelter? We know you're going to come in to see Gary at Retire Smart Louisiana. That is your first step. We're talking about having a proper plan for retirement on today's show. So Gary, obviously we jumped into the 60%, which was your needs, of course, but what makes up the other 40% of the rule?
Well, let's talk about wants first.
Okay.
Okay, that's the additional 20%. We got another 20% down the road.
Absolutely.
But the wants is something that we all have an issue with. I want that.
Yeah.
I got to have that.
Yes.
It could be a new boat, folks. It could be a Winnebago. It could be a trip to Hawaii. These are all wants. Yes, that's a good thing. If you have a plan in place, those wants could be fulfilled without hurting the rest of the plan. But let's talk about why wants are very important, okay? Number one, let's just say you decide that you want to go buy something, all right?
Okay.
In that plan, if the money's not there for it, how do we get to that point to get the money there? Okay? So that's another stage that we can talk about, and that's like having guaranteed incomes to offset the cost that we're going to see during retirement. We may have some additional money. We have that emergency fund, you know? And emergency fund, when I say at least 30% of a whole year's salary, that's what I like to see with my clients. So that 30% covers any extras that they might want or need, okay? So it goes hand in hand. But sometimes when we look at something we really want, it doesn't make any sense because it possibly could hurt our retirement plans, you know? If we want to buy a vacation home in Tennessee and I'm getting a good deal on it, but I got to spend another $50,000 to repair it before I can actually rent it out.
Right.
Because that's another income stream, okay? Am I going to get my full value out of that purchase? So during retirement, you have to look at the value of everything, all right? So when I say value, everything we do has a value, some type. We have a value in what we do every day, okay? We have a value of our person, ourselves, and we should, okay? But it gets to the point where people, when they start overspending, it damages what they put in place in the beginning. So sometimes my clients will sit down with me, and I had this happen about 2 years ago. I had a client came to me and said, we want this big motorhome. And I said, how much is this big motorhome going to cost? And it was over $100,000. And they had the money. That wasn't the issue. But the issue was, basically, that's the one they wanted, and they weren't going to back down from that one motorhome. They could have probably got one for $75,000 and it would do the same thing. And that was a financial decision that they had to make. I can't make that for them. But in the meantime, I've got to adjust the whole plan because I got to come up with $100,000.
Wow, yes.
So I got to make sure that they have it, number one.
Yes.
And that if I take it away, it's not going to hurt the rest of the plan.
Absolutely. It's
So,
like Jenga. I'm picturing that game. It's like,
so here's what this couple did, and I was so impressed. They bought that motorhome.
Okay.
And they used it for 2 years. They found another motorhome that somebody was selling that was just like the one they had for half the price. They put theirs up for sale, got almost all their money back because the prices had actually gone up.
Okay.
And they wind up with a motorhome for almost half the price.
Wow.
So that's a way that when you're in retirement, you think about value. Is how am I going to get the value out of my portfolio
Yes.
and still get what I want? All right. So these are the things that we address with our clients. We want them to have what they want.
Of course.
So we're not going to change that. We just got to figure out how to do it and do it sensibly where it doesn't damage their financial liabilities and stuff like that, you know, the whole portfolio.
Yes.
So huge difference and just going out and spending a bunch of money.
Oh, most definitely. You have to have a strategic plan. And I think that's so interesting because you're also factoring in clothes and entertainment as part of that equation.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, you know, we want to go to the store and buy what we really like, right? So we'll walk into a store and if something's not on sale and I still want it, I'll start thinking, well, if it goes on sale, I'm going to get a better price. But it probably won't be there when everything goes on sale because it's the top item in the store.
True.
So you kind of got to make a decision. Well, is it really worth buying this thing now? Do I really have to have it? So we think a little differently when we get older.
That's true.
You know, I look back now and the things that meant so much to me when I was in my 20s and 30s mean nothing to me anymore. My whole life now is my children, my grandchildren, and building a legacy plan that I could be proud of and leaving things behind, you know, for my children, my grandchildren.
Absolutely.
And, you know, now I have a lot of clients that actually don't have any children. So then the strategy is completely different. It really is. We want them to spend their money.
Yes.
But we want them to do it the right way so they don't run out too fast.
Absolutely.
So we put plans in place like that for the people who have no children, have no family, nobody to leave it to. So
I think that's amazing. And you mentioned, obviously, the importance of value. Gary, spend some time a little bit, if you could, please, talking about the value that the 2 new links provide.
Oh,
Talk
my
about
goodness.
rsretirementquiz.com. What is the value of that?
You know, I wish I had these tools when I grew up and I could go to a site and just plug in my information and see where my weaknesses are and my strengths are.
Yes.
And they'll get graded that way. And nobody else is going to see it. But it opens their eyes to the fact that, well, maybe I don't have a perfect plan. And maybe the guy that I have all my money with is not doing everything he should be doing. And folks, I tell people this all the time. If you're watching this show right now and you have a financial planner, there's something that brought you to this show. So there must be something in your plan that you're feeling a little uneasy about. And it could be, well, the market is up and down like a roller coaster and all my money is in the market right now. Maybe I should be kind of strategically making some changes right now. So bottom line is these types of retirement quizzes that you can go and whether it's the tax calculator or the legacy quiz or the retirement quiz, they're all going to be beneficial because it's going to bring something to the table at no cost.
That's amazing.
It's an amazing value. It's free.
And all people have to do is take advantage of it, which is fantastic. Well, Gary, time for our next commercial break. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen, 888-568-1755. What you're calling in for today is the one-on-one consultation with Gary. Let him get to know you, your goals, your dreams, and your wants for retirement. Do you have your 60-20-20 in place? If the answer is no, take advantage of this consultation today. The number again is 888-568-1755. Or you can grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Remember, the retirement storm is upon us. Where are you going to go to take shelter? We think you should take shelter with Gary. We'll be right back momentarily.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter, the one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Retire Smart Louisiana. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Gary Pouwels of Retire Smart Louisiana, and we're talking all about the importance of building a retirement plan, one that can withstand any storm, because we know the retirement storm is upon us and you need to take shelter. Gary, obviously we went through the first 60%, then the 20%, but our final 20%, what is the last part of the 20% rule?
It's how do you save your money?
Ooh.
And how do you spend your money?
Okay.
Okay, and where are you going to put it? All right, those are extremely important. You know, if you listen to all the financial planners out there, they all pretty much say the same thing. You need to have some different types of income streams coming in to your portfolio to make sure if one fails, the other one's going to take the blunt of the failure. So savings are really important, and the number one item on everyone's bucket list should be to have an emergency fund. All right?
Yes.
That has to be separate from the savings that you're putting together, whether it's income streams or not. That's money you don't touch unless it's an absolute emergency. It could be a hurricane in the state of Louisiana comes in and you got to pay your deductible on your insurance. And the deductibles are outrageous today on these homes.
Yes.
It could be you got a car that's starting to show signs of failure and you're spending more money on the car than it's worth anymore. So it's time to get a new car. That's an emergency fund. You know, all these things you have to have in place, because bottom line is when you go into retirement, once again, you're on a fixed income, all right? So if you strategically get your portfolio set up, you'll never miss a beat, folks. You just won't, you know?
Yeah.
You're gonna have checks and balances in the system to maintain your portfolio where it keeps going through retirement with no hiccups. And look, it's not just the emergency fund, it's all the other things that go with it. Savings, do we put all our savings in a stock market when you're in your late 60s? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, and we're watching the roller coaster ride right now.
Yes.
And with all the changes in government and all the exposures we're seeing right now, and you know the uncertainty of the banking systems and everything else, people are starting to get a little nervous because they said, you know what, I got a ton of money sitting in CDs at the bank, and I'm not hearing a whole lot of good things about the bank. Okay, that's one savings.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with having CDs and getting the higher returns and those kind of things. There's a better way to do it though. There's some things out there that work just like a CD with less risk. Okay, and then we have what we call guaranteed incomes. That's another type of savings that you can't run out of money.
Okay.
And then you do have, you know, the stock market. You can have some money in there, but only put money in there that you can afford to lose, because it's possible you may lose it.
That's
all right?
true.
Now, you also have those types of stocks that pay dividends on a regular basis. That's another income streams, and that's a form of savings. And then we have all kinds of other things that we can put in the portfolio. And savings can also mean future savings. I'm going to save money by starting something today that's going to protect me going into retirement, like insurance, basically, that protects you if you had to go in a nursing home. All right? That's a form of savings.
Absolutely.
Any
it
way you
is.
look at it.
Sure.
So bottom line is we have to be strategic about everything we do, even with the savings portion of it. All right? And that's why the 60-20-20 rule really works, because you're identifying where your risks are and where you have your checks and balances in the system to protect for your needs, your wants, and that comes with the savings.
Most definitely.
So that's pretty much the insurance side of protecting your portfolio, is having a plan in place that's bringing wealth to the household strategically and basically answering your prayers during retirement, because it removes the stress, number one. You're not worried about the market going up and down anymore and all those kind of things. And it could be annuities.
Absolutely.
Annuities are a great place to put money. It's another tool in our arsenal
Okay.
that protects people's wealth. And with some of the best companies in the world, A-rated companies.
Yes, yes.
They've been around during the Depression.
Of
They never
course.
went anywhere then, and they're not going to go anywhere in the future.
Gary, one of the things you also talk about is the importance of pay yourself first.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that to our viewers at home.
Okay. I got a good one. This is great because I'm doing it right now with a lot of young people. We have some new products out there. They've been around forever, but we're using them a lot more now. And they grow tax-free with no penalties, okay? So this is a way that I can help the younger generation start off early, planning for retirement, and they'll be able to retire early with tax-free money coming into their household. And it's going to be a wonderful thing, because that's part of, and look, the Rockefellers, and you know, they did that for years. And they used actually insurance to build wealth. And a lot of people are still doing that today, okay? So, you know, it could be in the form of whole life insurance. It could be index universal life insurance. But there's tools out there that are used that have an insurance side to it, but really where the biggest benefit is the wealth builder inside that tool. They guarantees growth, and that growth is risk-free, and it grows tax-free, and there's no government leaning over your shoulder telling you what you can do and can't do with it. That's why I'm using these tools right now with the younger generation. It's the greatest tool out there. I love it.
And I'm sure people are hearing this information for the very first time. Are you finding that to be true when they're coming into the office?
You know, in some cases, no. People know about it, but they don't know enough about it.
Okay.
So people try to convince them, oh, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So, and I got some of my older clients that are starting to realize, man, this is a great tool for me too. You know, if you get way up in age, no, I can't use those tools. But we have other tools for them. So, yeah, it's just,
yes.
it's a great tool in the arsenal package.
Most definitely. And all of these pieces actually put together this beautiful retirement puzzle, if you will, so that your clients have peace of mind. So again, when you're building a plan for someone, Gary, let me just ask you a quick question. How long does it take for that first consultation in case someone's on the fence about calling in today?
It takes about an hour.
Okay.
It could go less, but usually about an hour. But sometimes I get clients that come in and just want to talk.
Yes, yes.
And I tell them, look, we have a time frame here. I have other people coming in, so I set the guidelines before they know they're coming in.
Yes.
So once the appointment's set, we usually tell them, you got 1 hour, and after that, I got another client coming in.
Sure.
So the first appointment's fairly quick.
Okay. Well, Gary, only a minute left of the show this week. What is your final message to our viewers at home, please?
I would love to say use every tool that we're putting out there right now, because I'm going to tell you, folks, it's going to be the biggest value in your retirement package. All this is absolutely free. You go to rsretirementquiz.com. You can go to rstaxcalc.com, and you can also go to rslegacyquiz.com. All three of them are going to be very beneficial. Enjoy.
Gary, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call for that complimentary consultation with Gary is 888-568-1755, 888-568-1755, or you can grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Retire Smart Louisiana with Gary Pouwels. Take care.